Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the Breakfast in Shattrath. Welcome everybody. I'm joined today by, of course, Kexman and Cayna. How you doing, gentlemen?
Fantastic.
Yeah, doing very well. Doing very, very well. I've got my tea. I've got my porridge. What more could you possibly ask for? It's time for Breakfast in Shattrath.
Indeed.
And coffee.
Coffee?
Coffee?
I've got some tea in a little Discord partner mug, which I thought, stayed up late last night watching some wrestling, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to need this today. So, yeah,
I got a little mug too.
Just a little one.
just a little one.
Oh, you keep the
Size matters.
Keep the spoon in it. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Who are you?
How do you not poke yourself in the eye when you drink that?
Well, you just keep it like this with the finger, then you sip it.
It's pretty fancy.
Oh, that's too fancy for me. I'd end up blinding myself.
But of course, I'll be remiss to not welcome our obviously our fourth guest, of course, being the chat. Good morning, chat. Hope everyone's doing good. It is 11 a.m. here in the UK, and the sun is shining, and we've got another beautiful day. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got obviously Cayna here that we're going to talk about. Burning Crusade Classic. He's got some interesting things that you might not be happy about, but we'll see. We'll see.
You're gonna learn about Cayna today. You're gonna learn a lot about Cayna today.
I guess to start off with, Cayna, what's the plan? Have you been playing the beta at all? Are you gonna play Burning Crusade Classic when it comes out? What's gonna happen?
So I don't have the beta, such, so I can't play it. I would play it though. I also am 24 years old, which meant, TBC came out along the sides when I was like probably 10, when I didn't play PC at all, so I never played TBC to begin with.
What?
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it? But I am planning on playing it. It's actually one of the few expansions I do look very much forward to playing. I plan on raiding there, we're making our own guild, I plan on jumping into the arena. We're going on the same server as Apes.
Nice.
Gehenna's, so there's going to be a lot of me getting gagged, getting frustrated, and then ultimately trying to one-shot someone with elemental mastery.
I tell you, as someone who knows exactly how the start of Hellfire Peninsula goes, there's a part of me that I'm looking forward to seeing how because I'm assuming Gehenna's is a PvP server. I'm almost certain Gehenna's is a PvP server.
It is.
No.
I'm looking forward to how your first hour and a half goes trying to get through the Dark Portal.
Honestly, I don't know if there's like invis pots or anything, but we're just gonna try to run to the dungeon and just sit in the dungeon and never leave the dungeon again.
Just get to ramparts as quickly.
I was gonna say,
lads.
If you're playing a PvP server on launch, you'll probably get to the Dark Portal, get killed a million times. Next thing you know, you'll just be chilling in Bastion back on retail. You'll be so sick of it. I played a PvP server for like my whole life in WoW, ever since like vanilla to when they added war mode, and I didn't realize how nice it was playing on a PvE realm. You have the choice of playing PvP. I was like, this is incredible. You can literally just turn it on and off like when you want. So
yeah,
I moved to a PvE realm recently, and I'm on Pagel NA, which is a great realm. There's a lot of good people over there, and it's been lovely. It's been really, really lovely. I do not like world PvP at all. I like Battlegrounds. I like Arena. World PvP, no, thank you. I'm fine. Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sat here going, oh, I'd love to see what's going to happen with Cayna. And then I kind of realized that, wait, hang on, I'm on a PvP realm as Horde that's mostly Alliance. So I've kind of realized that it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle for me to kind of to get through that Dark Portal. But I'm really looking forward to it, because that's part of the experience, I suppose. I mean, until you get ganked 3 feet away from the portal and you cannot actually get through, and that's when the frustration sets in. But no,
that's why you have Ank.
That's why you have Ank if you're playing a shaman and not a warrior like I am.
Yeah. So what's the plan then, Cayna? What are you gonna play? Race class?
I am getting my shaman to 60 right now, so because to also bring out the boost, and then
Horde.
Yes.
Yeah.
Horde.
Of course.
But yeah, I'm gonna be playing a shaman, so I'm gonna be put in a group, place out my totem, and then feel like I have done my job, which is fantastic. And then for an alt, I haven't fully decided yet, but I really am interested in doing arenas. So probably one of the, classes that will ultimately be good in arenas, which I've heard is like Hunter or Druid. Yeah,
That's
apparently so. But yeah, that's basically the plan. And then, in my downtime, I will hopefully get a 5-man group and, maybe gang some 8 members or something and make a name for myself and then ultimately get ganked my entire raid before, we run into the raid. So
hey,
it's gonna be good.
Plus side, you don't have to worry about world buffs. Like, you don't have to worry about losing world buffs, so it's okay.
I mean, you don't need to worry about it now anyway, because they added that little buffer, like the buff store thing, right? But
True.
Yeah, I mean, so you say you're leveling a shaman now, Cayna. What level are you?
Yeah, 39.
Nice,
So going through quite quickly.
You enjoying it?
It's okay. Like, I don't think I would enjoy this as just like sitting down and hitting 60 as fast as possible, like Yogurt.
Mm-hmm.
But like, hey, I have 45 spare minutes. I can go hit some tigers in Strangletorfield type of thing.
Yeah,
it's something I can log in at any point at any day for whatever I'm waiting, and I mean that's quite fantastic. And I also have a lot of guildies and stuff leveling right now, so we have a friend that is like boosting some people through dungeons and stuff. So like whenever he is around, I can just jump in that and then literally do absolutely nothing to get XP. So that's also fantastic.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you play a shaman in retail as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I have 3 right now.
So I guess like the one thing that I do, I started leveling a hunter recently on classic, and I think I'm like 45, and I played a hunter in Shadowlands. I tend to like, because like there is some abilities that are exactly the same, right? There's some like you have multi-shot, you have stuff like that. Do you find that with the shaman? Do you have like kind of keybinds that are the same as your retail character?
Yeah, I mean I don't have lava burst, but like I have my lightning bolt and my flame shock. I have my interrupt on the exact same one. My slow totems are on the same one, although there's a lot more totems in classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I even did this like in between retail, even when I have like 10 characters in retail, like all my interrupts are on the same keybind. Like I was trying to find like, similar keybinds go similar places, and yeah, I do the same with classic. Most of my shaman keybinds are the exact same.
Did you did you recreate your UI the same?
No. I did take like a couple of add-ons, but like nothing too major. I think the biggest add-on that I got is making shaman blue instead of purple.
It's a good one.
Or pink on the raid friends.
That is a huge add-on. Because I get so confused. I'm like, how have we got a paladin? Oh wait,
yeah,
I don't have
exactly
that
reason.
It's not.
But you don't get bloodlust.
True. Nah, but it is really fun. And I am actually immensely looking forward to raiding with a guild and clearing the TPC raids, because like to me classic, like it is, I mean, I think everyone can kind of agree that classic raiding is relatively easy. I think TPC is kind of where the bosses. I'm sorry. It's just like TPC. I feel like the bosses just get really interesting, right? You have things like Muru. You have things like the Lady Fashir. Like these are all Kalfas. Like these are all the bosses that are pretty big names, really cool fights, and I would love to get Ashes of a Lord drop and then use my officer privileges to get the mount.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, and you mentioned, the names that you mentioned there, like Lady Vash, Kael'thas, Muru, they're all kind of those names that are spoken of as, whenever people talk about difficult raid bosses, like, oh yeah, this might be tough, but you never did Muru pre-nerf and all this sort of stuff, and it does kind of evoke that feeling of, okay, this is when raiding kind of takes a step up. And you did mention just before we went on air, you basically said you feel as though that TBC is realistically when raiding kind of came into its own. I think classic, definitely the story of classic and the gameplay is mainly focused around the journey to 60, and then you have raids, whereas in TBC this is obviously the first expansion. There's only 10 levels, so instead of trying to craft the experience around the leveling, you craft it around endgame, which brings us some fantastic dungeons, brings us some brilliant raids. And I would probably say, Karazhan is probably a top 5 iconic raid for Warcraft. If you were mentioning raiding, I would say the majority of people would know exactly what Karazhan is all about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Karazhan is also 10 men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so like that's actually something that I like, because I think that's one of the first raids you jump into. Yep. So even for like a more casual guild like ours, where like we'll probably have like 25 people, right? But we do have people with like jobs and applications and stuff as well. So, maybe 5 people can't make it, then we can still make 2 10-man groups, and still, the people that are blasting a bit can still go and clear. So, I don't know. I am actually very much looking forward. I am gonna heavily use my powers to tell my raid leader that I am sick for a full week and that we should take a week break from retail raiding.
Okay.
So yeah.
Are you raiding retail next tier?
Yes.
Right.
I have a couple of months ago I joined back Method in the raid team as well as their Path of Exile manager. So I have been very, very busy with all of that. But I am raiding next year again.
Nice.
See, that's exciting. Cayna back in the raiding hot seat, seeing some sick plays. It's going to be beautiful.
Well, sorry, you go. Yeah.
I was just going to say, do you know if there are any plans, obviously, for sort of like a Method TBC team? Is that something that is being talked about, or is it just is that sort of raiding because it's kind of already quote unquote been done before? Is it kind of just almost like a casual thing, if that makes sense?
I don't want to rule it out, but I can't confirm it either. It's probably gonna be something that's gonna be in the talks. I know at least for me, TBC is gonna for me be all around playing with my friends. We're making a guild. We have a bunch of streamers in there. I think, for example, people might know Cybersled, who's right now streaming for Pieces. He joined us. We have people like Johnny Onelong, who's an excellent friend of mine. So it's just kind of like people all around the WoW community that have jumped into this. Ex-Future members, a couple of our Method raiders are in there with me as well. So there might be plans, but I am just looking forward to playing with people that I consider good friends of mine, and that's what's going to be all about for me.
I mean, that's what it's all about, really. Yeah. At the end of the day, I think there is a market though for like retail Mythic raiders to do classic raids. Like, I would love to see like Echo Limit, Method, people like that, like jumping into like classic raids. And imagine a world where the top classic guild is also the top retail guild, like absolute domination across the board.
Exactly. I'm just, and I mean, the start of it, obviously, when they release the you'll have the first couple of raids available to you straight away. I'm just saying, Black Temple comes out. Black Temple was considered one of the pinnacles of raiding, and to a lot of people still is. I'm just saying, we never truly had a proper race to world first for Black Temple.
Yeah.
First to kill Illidan. I'm just saying. I
mean, I'm sure that these are going to be all talks that we're going to have. The main concern with this is that there's people that there's like there's world first rating right now in retail, and then there's like the top. I'm just going to say randomly top 20, right? There's a big discrepancy. I feel like in classic and stuff that is even worse. Like, there's people in apes right now that are running around with thousands and thousands of gold, and that have 25 characters level 60 right now, because in TBC a lot of your best in slot gear is crafting stuff, and there's these things that you can make like once every 3 days. Well, if you have 25 characters, then you speed it up quite a lot. So like realistically, like if you haven't done that type of prep right now, either you're gonna be yoke at speed leveling to get all of this done before, or you're gonna have to accept that those guilds are gonna have quite a big advantage. This would have been a lot more interesting if they would have like kept gold going into the expansion, right? Like a character can go through the dark portal with like this amount of gold, but that also kind of defeats the purpose of classic, because originally in classic people were like maybe this is just a game. People weren't really anticipating. Obviously now people kind of they thought there was going to be a good chance TBC would come out. So there's a little bit of an different market in terms of golds and crafting consumables, but I can also understand obviously where it comes from, because we do the exact same in retail. So how can I complain?
I think the idea of like capping gold is a little bit unfair though. Like taking gold away from players and stuff is just kind of like, people earn that gold, be it through GDKP or whatever, or any sort of thing, like any sort of boosting or just farming it. Imagine just like your average Joe who farmed in Blasted Lands for a year and a half gets all his gold taken away because some other guy sold a load of boosts. It's not really fair, I think, at the end of the day to do that. And it is an interesting thing, like going into TBC with the hindsight of knowing exactly what's going to happen in the future. It's something that, with retail, like when we come into 9.1, 9.2, we don't know what's going to happen. So we can't stockpile things because we don't really know, right? And that's kind of the interesting thing there. So Yeah, it's a weird kind of scenario with classic expansions where, you know that, in phase 4 you're going to need this item, so keep a hold of that, or, level up your leatherworking because this is coming soon and stuff like that. Yep. So it's a really weird scenario. I think, I don't know, Burning Crusade for me is like, it's so good. Like, I don't know, have you like played through Outland or anything like that on retail, like, while leveling?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, back when I was relatively casual, like I said, I think I hit max level around the time that ICC came out. So I did go through the entire Outlands. I have done the zones. I'm pretty sure I've lore master of Outlands, so I've done practically at least every single quest once in my life. So I have been through it all I'm pretty sure there hasn't really been any changes going from Outland into TBC. So I have been through it all. I have done every single quest. I kind of, understand what the entire gist is about. But it's going to be obviously quite different to go through it and, have that as your max level content. Which is cool because, I've heard like Heroic dungeons and stuff are actually pretty challenging. So I am very much looking forward to that.
Get ready for your Shattered Halls timed run, because that's where the beauty is going to, the difficulty is going to come in. I suppose it's an interesting sort of take on everything because, again, you don't have those rose-tinted glasses. You don't have any expectations realistically as to what it used to be like. Question for you is, are you in the no changes camp because you want to experience it as it was, or are you in the sensible changes camp where you do want to see some quality of life stuff, such as they're obviously adding the LFM, they're looking for men, or looking for more, if you want to call it. Is that something you want, or do you want that quintessential Burning Crusade experience?
I think it depends on the quality of life. So, like, I am all in for drums changes. Like, I don't think anyone particularly enjoys stockpiling on drums and just having permanent uptime on blood loss and all of those things. I don't think that is the pinnacle of gameplay that I'm looking for. Things like LFM, I feel like if they don't do it baseline, people are going to create add-ons and stuff for it anyway. So I don't see the harm in doing it. It's a concept that people know now. It's a concept people are going to be using. So, yeah, I feel like that's good. I'm also all up for macro changes because playing a hunter and just spamming a macro, which is literally what people did, is, from what I know, they're going to take the TBC server or something, or not TBC, the Shadowlands server or something, where this is not possible. I guess Mr. Jim probably knows more about this.
Yep.
But I've heard that, those type of macros are not possible anymore, which I also think is good, because I think that just makes the gameplay even better. What I do want to be careful of is that they don't take away, like, this entire socialized thing, right? Like, even I remember back in Breath of the Lich King, I saw that guy with that gear, and because he was like a top-end PvP on the server, and I would, walk past him and I would knew who it was just from his gear and his name. I want that to stay. That's like as essential to me. That's what I want to return even to retails right now, because that's like, the most epic parts. I just walked past this guy, holy shit, I'm gonna bow a couple of times. But as long as they manage to keep that and the feel of the game, then yeah, I'm all for some quality of life changes.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of quality of life changes, I don't know whether there was a video out about sort of like the starting experience, the booster experience. I swear there was somebody that put a video out about the booster.
Yeah, I saw that one. It was on Wowhead, wasn't it? They posted on Wowhead.
I think it was on Wowhead. I think, if I remember rightly, Asmongold took a look at it as well.
Yeah, he watched a little bit of that. I
can't remember the name of the guy though. It was.
I hear he's really handsome though.
I have heard he is handsome, and I've heard down to his knee.
It's true. That's why, we do it. Keep it PG here in the morning. So I don't know if you've seen this, Cayna. They actually added some new quests for the booster characters.
Okay.
So in retail, when you make a pre-made, they do like the tutorial thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they've kind of done that in Classic, but it's like super simple. You literally just kind of go in, you start in front of your trainer. It teaches you how to train your abilities, talents, stuff like that. And then you run to, I think you go to the Innkeeper in Orgrimmar and Stormwind, depending on if you're Horde and Alliance, then you go to Bolvar or Thrall. Now, I made a video about it, and I'm not even joking. There are comments saying that they're not going to play BC Classic because of this. literally 4 quests that they added that are completely harmless because you don't gain anything from it. It's simply just to teach, say someone coming over from retail, say someone coming over, playing the game for the first time and buying a boost. It's literally that, right? It's literally that. So I'm a bit confused on why people feel like that's the end of the world, but I don't know.
Like, I think this kind of goes in the same way when they announced the boost to happen. A lot of people were like, this is terrible. How can they do this? And like, I feel like that's to a degree gatekeeping, because like I originally was not going to level my shaman. I was just going to use a boost, and if there was not going to be a boost, I probably wouldn't have played TBC Classic. It is that there's so much interest on my friends now that I'm actually leveling. But like originally I wouldn't have played it. So like, what would you rather have? There's a lot of people that are exactly like me. Would you rather have a lot of the community never try the game so you can have your full original feeling? Or would you want this to be a cool community event where everyone participates and everyone gives their shot and everyone gets to enjoy the game that you love? For me, that would definitely be the second. So I am very confused why people are so against these type of changes that is drastically going to help the game and drastically going to, make people actually try the game. I can kind of understand it, but at the same point, it's like, it's not really impactful. It's just gonna, give people more chance to play and make people possibly even better at the game or just enjoy it more. What's wrong with it?
Yeah, exactly. And the boosting it's one of those where, as you mentioned, the more people playing, the better the community is, the more chance you have to do dungeons, raids, the more guilds there are. It kind of just increases. And I understand that there are some people that are talking about, bots are going to be an issue, and they'll use that. It's like, bots are always going to be an issue. This will change nothing. This will bring more positivity to TBC in regards to, as I mentioned, the bigger communities than it would more harmful stuff. And as well, the people that are going there going, I'm not going to play TBC Classic because of this. Okay, bye. But, we don't want that sort of negativity in the community. And the boosts do not affect you in any way, shape, or form if you don't buy them. That I don't. Again, it just it completely boggles me when I think of people that don't want to play something simply because somebody else can buy a boost.
Yeah, and also like I could be fully wrong on this. This is just like hope thinking about it. I think the amount of people that will quit because boosts are being introduced is going to get outweighed heavily by the people that are going to try TBC because of the boosts. I think a lot more people are going to join because they can play the expansion, don't have to go through Classic, rather than people that are going to quit. So I think for Blizzard, it obviously makes a lot of sense as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, really. I mean, I've watched a lot of videos on it. I've spoken to a lot of smart people about it. And obviously, you mentioned bots being an issue with it. And there is a definite potential problem there that could occur where, bots can make new accounts, they make an instant 58, they, get all their professions up, and it kind of screws with the economy. I think it's we'll kind of see what happens in regards to that kind of stuff. Obviously, bots are a massive problem in Classic WoW right now, and it definitely needs to be sorted anyway, like as a general issue. So hopefully, they do find some sort of way around it where it's not going to be as impactful. I think for me personally, I would have preferred, because I feel like with Classic especially, and you probably know this as well, Cayna, as you level up, you kind of learn your class, you find that muscle memory, you find places to put those abilities, and being thrown in at 58 with all those abilities, all those ranks, all that everything, you're just kind of like a bit overwhelmed, especially if you're coming from retail. And I think what's important is to level up and to experience each level. So I think instead of a boost, I think there should be a XP boost to one character. You pay for, say, I don't know, like 100 to 200% more. At least then you're still, leveling faster than your average bear, but you're also, gonna get up to max level pretty quickly, a lot faster than you would normally.
Yeah, but I'm also of the opinion that you are gonna have a lot of abilities, and it's definitely gonna be a bit overwhelming, but you do have 12 levels to get used to it, right? Realistically, you killing boars, I don't think knowing how to use all your 20 buttons effectively is going to be the most important one. It is gonna matter a bit more when you get to raids. So I do think you have the 12 levels at that point to get used to it. I do agree with you, like maybe even cut back to like level 50 and then give them like the XP boost so they can go through like the last 10 levels and then jump through, or I guess the last 8. I do have to say though, even if they gave me 200% XP, because I am practically leveling with permanent rested XP anyway in Classic, it's gonna still take too long. I still wouldn't have done it personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just that's my opinion, and that's just me.
Yeah, makes sense.
feel as though boosting in and of itself is. I feel as though boosting isn't necessarily the biggest issue. I mean, obviously, there are a lot of things around that, and I would say if they were to implement something, I would probably go with your idea, Dan. You know, the whole idea of having a boosted XP rate rather than just a straight smack boost. But the way the boosting works, I know a lot of people talk about the economy, but realistically, the economy is already ruined. Yeah. The economy of TBC is effectively, you know, you get your flying mount and everything like that, and people weren't expecting that for Classic. There was no real way that people could make that much gold in Classic back in the day. Well, they could, but again, people can't. It was a completely different era. Now we've got people going into TBC with, you know, tens of thousands of gold potentially, and it seems very odd to turn around and say, yeah, boosting, that's going to ruin the economy of TBC. It's already ruined. You know, it's already ruined, and there's nothing you can do to change that now.
I do also respect your opinion of like botting is gonna be worse, and you know botting is bad, but Blizzard has taken like, I mean, I only mostly play retail, right? There has been extensive measurements to remove botting from the game, but they have done a really good job. You can literally in retail, if you can probably still try to bot, but the chance of you getting banned is massively high. So I am confused why they have kind of just been hands off on the Classic. Like maybe it is just the feel of like, oh yeah, you know, this is kind of what happened to Classic, we'll allow it. But realistically, I would like I mean, like I said, I think it would be good for that Blizzard to take a stance. I can see why people would maybe disagree, but I think it would be healthy for the game to just like run at the bots and, you know, put your retail measurements in there. But
yeah,
I am fully out of.
I think someone asked them at BlizzCon Online during an interview about that, and they said that basically they still ban thousands of bots. They just said essentially you just don't see it, right? You see the bots, but you never see them get banned. They never like you're never going to see the bot companies saying, "Oh, we just got banned," like loads. Like you never see them actually get banned. You only ever see the bots themselves. Kind of in the same vein as like where people say, you know, it's a streamer only beta, but the only people they see are streamers, right? Whereas it's like
true.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those, you know. So I think yeah, it's an interesting thing. I do believe that they are banning a lot of bots, right? And it's still just it just keeps going. And I think Kex mentioned this before with the WoW token. I don't like potentially that's something they could add to Classic TBC. They added it to the Chinese version of Classic, and I don't know the impact that it's had over there. But I think a lot of high-end players, well, not a lot of high-end players, but I know a lot of players in Classic do buy gold, like with, you know, from these third-party sites, and it's just, you know, a real terrible phenomenon. And like the more people that do it, the more it, you know, causes the bot issue to occur. So maybe adding the WoW token would be a potentially good idea. I think if they were to do it, they would probably have to speak to the community first and be like, right, we need some feedback on this. Is this something you would be interested in like seeing, instead of just going, this is happening, you've got literally nothing to say about it. You know, I think it's, I don't know, it's so curious, because then you look at the some changes thing and you're like, how far does it go, you know? But and then I don't know, there's like so many different like things you could do, right? Like one idea that someone said is gold sinks. So for example, the TCG stuff came out in BC. So what they could do is add those on a rotational vendor where you spend like 50,000 gold or something on a mount, and that will just like pour money back into the game and maybe level out a little bit, but still not, you know, not a load. But I don't know, it's such a tough situation, and I couldn't even imagine what it's like to be Blizzard at this point, because I personally have no idea what they can do.
Yeah, it's tough, and it's especially more difficult because the steps that Blizzard take to do stuff like, okay, we want to add something like, you know, we want to add the boost into TBC. People say, oh, okay, well then bots are going to be a problem. Blizzard then takes steps to get rid of those bots, and the problem is the more steps they take to get rid of the bots, the better the bots become. It's always kind of like a self-defeating prophecy. The more they advance the more they advance obviously all of the all of the stuff to detect these bots and ban them, the more that the bots can work around and stop it. So it does become a little bit difficult. I like the idea of gold sinks. That's not necessarily a bad idea. I do feel as though something like a WoW token could potentially balance stuff out. It all depends on how it works. I mean, you could look at the WoW token in retail. It would be something different in TBC. The token in retail is kind of there for, you know, if you wanted to potentially get a little bit of extra gold for maybe if you were looking to buy the Brutosaur mount that was available, the auction house mount, the Long Boy back in BFA, or, you know, maybe if you turn around and you say, oh well, I don't necessarily I have loads of gold, but I'm on hard times. I don't have enough to pay for my sub. Oh, I can buy it through gold. You know, it's a really, really good idea the way it works. I don't know. It's a difficult situation. I like the idea of gold sinks. I like the idea of doing something to help balance out the community. But at the same time, you know, you do stuff like that to balance out the community, you just open up a whole list of other problems that could potentially happen.
Yeah, completely right. I mean, that's the problem. Like, you look at, you know, it's like a slippery slope, right? That's something that people used to say back in Classic, where you add one thing and then that kind of opens the floodgates for others. So yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting phenomenon. I'm very curious how they're going to do it. I mean, the WoW token item is in Classic and TBC, but I mean, I wouldn't look into that too much. That's probably just, you know, just there from leftover code or whatever. But I guess bringing it back, Cayna, do you think you're going to get 58 before pre-patch or by launch?
Definitely.
You think so?
Oh yeah, I mean, like, the closer pre-patch and launch is gonna come, like, I will just take some time off and finish it off. Like, I want to be level 60. Preferably, I'll be level 6. Like, I'm gonna be doing quite a bit. For example, this week, I hopefully will be like close to level 50 before PoE launches, because that's gonna be some busy times for me. Possibly even be level 60 before that if I can get my boy to boost me a bit more. But I also want to farm like a bit of gold, maybe even jump into some classic raids, get a little bit of gear. So, you know, because leveling in TBC is apparently mostly just spam dungeons, because it gives you a lot of repetition. There's like a very good way to like level, so you have the repetitions, and you can jump into the heroic modes, and then like the level 60 version, 70 versions, and then the heroic modes afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So having some, you know, tier set gear or whatever would be helpful for that. But yeah, I mean, I'll see, but I definitely want to farm a bit of gold beforehand. Maybe if you do some raids. Yeah, that would be good.
So there's definitely I remember when the beta started up, I was like, okay, I'm going to go in. I'm just going to do Ramparts, because Ramparts is a phenomenal dungeon. And my experience with it back when TBC first came out was 60, hadn't done raiding, just had quest gear. And I remember Ramparts being a hellish landscape of just absolute decimation, wiping left, right, and center. Going in with the gear that I have now, which is like some, you know, BIS items from Nax, from AQ40 for my warrior, it was a totally different story, absolutely plowing through that dungeon. So raid gear does make a fair difference when it comes to stuff like that.
Can imagine.
So so just kind of wrapping up and kind of closing and bringing it back to Burning Crusade Classic Beta. When you get into the beta, Cayna, are you going to play it? What's the plan? Are you going to do some testing of like dungeons and stuff? Like, you're going to kind of figure out your route and the class and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I am interested, like I said, in getting an ult, so I'll definitely be probably trying every single class, see how it plays, see what feels good. I'll probably look for, you know, some friends to play along with, run some dungeons. I saw that raid testing is happening relatively soon.
Next week.
Would be, yeah, exactly. So I would, you know, if I would have beta by then, I would love to be able to jump into that, check out some of the bosses for myself. Yeah, I mean, I love content and I love doing new things. And I mean, I also played the classic beta. I leveled through like I think the level cap was like level 20 or something at that point. So you played that as well. I went through that. I do really, really enjoy doing those type of things. So yeah, if I would get it, I would 100% just jump into that and check it out, stream it, have a good time.
Nice. So yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to Burning Crusade Classic. The beta has been progressing very quickly. Level 70 now.
Yeah.
Raid testing coming up next week. It's all looking very promising. I mean, I've personally been doing a lot of quest testing. Just finished up Hellfire Peninsula. Got into Zangarmarsh yesterday, which has been, you know, moderate. I don't like the Naga zone there. It's horrible. But yeah, there's definitely been some issues, and I have been reporting quite a lot of bugs. And I've been finding very strange bugs and tweeting them out every now and then when I find something super interesting or weird and wonderful. But that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Like, that's what the beta is all about. It's all about finding and testing and doing all of that good stuff. So yeah, and I'll probably be on there today. I'm sure. Like, that's what I do.
Yeah. I think one final thing. I think, and I just want a very quick answer because this is going to be interesting from the both of you. They added a sealed package which you deliver to various different citizens. That was not in the original Burning Crusade. Cayna, what do you think is in the sealed package? Do you think it is some form of, potentially something to do with, I don't know, some event they've got going on, or will it be some form of special edition of Burning Crusade Classic? What could possibly be in the sealed package?
Probably some type of event they have going on. I don't know. I can't really see them play around too much and add like different quest lines, so I have no idea. But so I would just have to go with the first. But realistically, I have no idea what it would be.
What about you? What's it going to be?
I hate to break your heart. The sealed package is a part of the quest line that I mentioned for the boost.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, you go, so you do like you learn your spells, you learn your talents, then you go around like to the innkeeper, you go to the guild master, you go to the bank, and you just hand them the sealed package, and then you take it to Bolvar or Thrall. So yeah, that's what it's for. Unfortunately, there's no phase, what is it, a warp stalker mount or anything like that in it. No event, no nothing. It's just for that boring quest.
Well, that's it. I'm not playing TBC Classic.
Yeah.
That's disgraceful.
No changes. No more.
No changes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
What? Oh, it's disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Well, there we go. That's that covered then.
Yep. Problem solved.
Problem solved.
Pandora's box has been unleashed. But
there we go.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us. As I said, guys, we are here with Kexman and Cayna. Cayna, where can we find you on the internet?
I have Twitter and a Twitch.
Nice. Yeah, your Twitter's just there, Cayna WoW, I believe. That's that.
Yes.
And then obviously you're on twitch.tv/ probably Cayna, I presume.
Yep,
there it is. And of course, Kexman, where are you at?
So you can find me on Twitter at Kexman, very, very simply, and you can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/KexmanWCR. Tonight is actually my birthday stream because it's my birthday tomorrow.
Ooh.
So excited about that tonight. I'll be playing Halo 3 to completion. So that'll be good fun. Awesome.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, guys, and we will be back next week with another guest. Who knows who it will be? I actually have no idea. So we'll see. All right. See you later, guys. Take care.
Thank you.